DubLab.
Hello, this is Transduction Signal on DubLab Radio. I'm your host, Trovarsi, along with Orly Gal. I think I'm pointing the right direction.
Yes.
Join us each month on DubLab Radio for our show, Transduction Signal. We'll be joined by a featured guest who will share their live performance, followed by a short breakdown of their setup. We'll get into their musical journey and just about being a live artist. And who's our guest for today, Orly?
Today we have Dutch electronic performer Jungle of Wires, Mandy Bakker. Super excited to dive into her past.
Mandy!
Hi.
Hi.
All the way from Amsterdam, south of Amsterdam, right?
Yeah, a little bit outside of Amsterdam.
Very cool. It is probably cool there too, like literally, huh?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. Yeah, I think we can ice skate in a few days.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Nice. All right. Well, we definitely can't ice skate here, but we feel cold because we're wimps. Just kidding. We're in LA area, but it's cold to us.
It's daylight now with you guys, but for me, it's night.
Oh, yeah. You're 9 hours ahead of us or so,
Dark.
right?
Yeah, it's dark here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It was fun to make the video. It was fun. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm really we have a lot of questions for you. So
great.
But before we get into all of that, we want to play your performance. Do you have anything to cue it up, or do you want us to just talk afterwards?
Talk afterwards. Enjoy.
Awesome. All right, everyone. I'm going to mute up. That was awesome. Let me unmute. There you go.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Hope you liked it.
Oh my, yeah, it was super
Yeah,
groovy.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all improvised. So
Nice.
no upfront sequencing, all improvised.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I have so many questions. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Orly. What do you?
No, it's all good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sweet. Can't hear
Yeah.
myself.
Cool.
It was like a super chill, kind of like synthy, you know,
Yeah.
cool disco-y type thing. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's like super minimalist. You got what you need, and that's that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's super groovy and like moving. Like I have this BPM app that I like to whip out all the time, like no matter whatever I'm at, like club, wherever, just to see, you know, like when and yeah, you were like, what was it, like 122?
Yeah, about.
Right around there.
Yeah.
But it was still like moving, you know, like had
Yeah.
like a sense of drive and like groove to it. But that kind of goes in probably to your drummer stuff, which we'll get into in just a moment. But before we deviate, because I know Orly's dying to ask you, just for those who did not see there after just hearing, can you just give us like a run through of your setup, like what of everything you were using in that?
Yeah, I use sequencing the Oxy One. At the moment, there's something else, but I've got it here. So the Oxy One is sequencing it all, and
Okay.
it's really nice because you can do improvised things. There's a lot of random in, so you can randomize almost everything in a certain mode. So that's what I'm using.
Okay.
I like to go as it flows, and then of course the pulsar. Yeah, I really like it.
That's your
the day
baby.
since the day I bought it, it was a couple of months that I needed to get to know the pulsar, like tame it, and then just what the pulsar
That's for
does.
drums.
Yeah, that's for
Right?
drums. Yeah. And then now this is really small, but I've got a really small modular setup. The voice is the polycinematic of Nobula.
Oh,
That's
nice.
the
Yeah.
voice, and I really like the make noise mimeophone to do
Is
some
that what
looping.
you have running through it?
Yeah. So for looping, and there's a little reverb of IntelliGel, and for drums, I've got the WMD Fracture and Chimera, I think. Yeah, Chimera. So that's for more drum stuff.
Gotcha.
So
Just to add
that's
more
my setup.
textures.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I've got a lot of channels on the Oxy One, so I really need them all.
Right. So question then, so was the bass line the bass from the Pulsar 23?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was run through the Basel Ikari.
Ikari, I think that's how you say it too. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So you ran the bass line through that filter.
Extra
Got
juice.
it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. No, it's a compact setup. It really, every time I see you play, I always ask myself, what the hell
Getting
am I
smaller and smaller.
Why am I carrying so much stuff?
Because it looks cool and it sounds cool, you know? But
Yeah.
I'm like super inspired by the fact that you only use a couple things. I just bought my first actual piece of.
Well, I was a drummer before, and that is carrying all that stuff. And I was like, I'm never going to do that again. So a couple of cases, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, I get it. I was
So,
a bass player. I was like, if you can't carry it, don't bring it.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, Orly, do you want to kind of go down that road then? Like, I know you have some questions
Well,
about
yeah,
that.
it was really interesting to see the juxtaposition from like your actual setup today and what you're playing to knowing that
Hmm.
you're a drummer, because I can
Yeah.
hear the rhythm in what you're doing, but there isn't like an actual kick banging. So I wanted
Yeah.
to kind of like explore that with you.
So you mean the drum programming or the sound?
You know, the sound.
Yeah. Well, the pulsar is helping a lot. That's a really awesome. Well, yeah. They say it's not a drum machine, but yeah, it is because the kick is really awesome, I think. The snare is not that awesome, but I use it for just the percussion style noise things.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's why I use the fracture for like the claps or a bit of a snare thing, and the hi-hats are awesome as well.
Um,
So with a little bit of delay of the pulsar itself, it sounds
Mm.
really nice and full and yeah, crunchy.
are you completely done with drumming forever, or do you miss
Mm,
it?
I miss it, yeah, and I'm not completely done. We have a lot of bands here in my little town just outside of Amsterdam, and they ask me a lot to fill in gaps. So maybe somebody cannot come to a gig. They ask me, "Do you want to fill in for just a couple of gigs?" I do that. Most of the time, it's like '80s stuff. So
Nice. That sounds fun.
yeah, it is.
I
I did
can
it a
I can
lot.
hear it on your I can hear on your set. There's a little bit
Yeah,
of an underlying synth wave in there.
yeah, I really like it. So yeah, that's what I was listening when I was like a teenager. A lot of '80s stuff. I toured with a band uh, that did a lot of '80s um, uh, gigs, big venues like '80s parties. So that's quite nice. And there was a keyboard player, and I liked that keyboard a lot. So I borrowed it from him, and that's where the synth things came from. So thank
Yeah,
you.
that that was my next question. Like, how did you go from? So, what was that?
Yeah, that
That was
keyboard
the yeah,
that keyboard was a Roland W30. So it's like the sampling big keyboard.
the big
So
one.
yeah, the big one. And and I liked that sampling bit a lot. So I bought an MPC. So I did my own sampling on the MPC, like finger drumming. I like that. From there, it went to like gigs, doing gigs with the MPC and an MC 505 from Roland as well. So I
Can
did
I
a lot of
interrupt?
gigs.
Just
Yeah.
was this a while? Like, so when did this actually start? Just to kind of give some
Mm,
context, like that initial part of the.
I think, boy,
I can tell you that it says 2017. Does that help?
yeah, that's the modular stuff. That's
So
from
before that,
2017. Yeah, before that it was all yeah, MC 303, MC 505, like the TR 808s and TB 303, but never did the acid thing. Um, yeah, that's what end of 90s, I think, and beginning of 2000,
okay,
2002,
so
3,
you had like a
4.
nice run of, and right in
Yeah,
those peak moments of where
and I
those
still I still was doing the drum thing, but after I got kids, the drum thing was not really. Yeah, there was time consuming, all those practicing and the gigs and going touring. So after I got kids, I was a lot at home. So I was looking for something to do music at home. Voila. So yeah, the samplers and the synthesizer. I'm not a lot of keyboard. I know how to play piano, but not really that interesting in doing the keyboard thing. But so sequencers came along, and well, that kind of stuff.
The community is quite big out in Amsterdam for modular.
Yeah.
So I assume
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
It was pretty easy transition from one to the other.
Yeah.
Is it more prominent to get gigs now with the modular community? Or are you still right?
Well, there is in Amsterdam, there are a couple of people in Utrecht as well. A couple of people that are really like to get new people, new starting artists, or artists that never played, only been in the studio and do some YouTube things or Instagram. They invite them to play, actually. Sometimes big, sometimes small, sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 20, sometimes an hour. And just do what you want. And those gigs are there.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. You could just email them and, oh yeah, we've got a spot somewhere, so you can go and play. And even in big venues like Paradiso, there is a spot always for you open.
That's cool. That's when really you played Pink Noise. Is that? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that's Pink Noise as a new, something new. They invited me to play at Amsterdam Dance Event in Paradiso. And that's also for new people to do something big. And they comfort you and just do your gig and do what you really like. That's awesome. But I started out at Voltage Control Amsterdam of Bart. And I want to thank him because he's doing like the 10-minute, 15-minute things at Paradiso for really, really new and young people, or old, young, doesn't matter.
Right.
Everybody.
That's really cool because the system there, like you're getting that experience of playing on a real system.
Venue and a real system, and it's sounding awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that room sounded great.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And the Amsterdam Dance Event is so nice to play because it's not because it's really big, but it brings the community a bit together. Like it's not only dance, but drum and bass, everything, ambient, everything melts together in one big family, I think. How do you call it? One big.
Yeah, you guys made me super jealous. We were out there for ADE and just to see the community, and we got to talk to a few other artists that are within the modular community from Amsterdam, and it's such a beautiful ecosystem that you guys, get the chance to push each other and help each other out. It's amazing.
And the people are diverse and young, old. If you like this or that, or doesn't matter. Everybody is welcome to come. Yeah, that's great.
Yes, I definitely got that vibe. And the city is so beautiful. Thanks for taking Alex and I to the museum too. That was awesome.
I liked it too because it was been a while since I've been there.
Wait, were you walking down the street with them the day that I saw you when I was interviewing Joseph?
Yes, we were just coming from the museum on the way to Paradiso.
Paradiso, yeah. Okay, cool. Now
I should have waved. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
So Mandy, let me ask you. So one of the things that you well, first of all, we met online through the pandemic. You played Frequency Shift, female non-binary live stream festival that we do for SoCal. And
thank you for that.
Amazing. Yeah, no, thanks for participating. And I noticed, since our friendship and watching you play and your posts, and also you mentioned about your ever-changing setups.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think are the pros and cons of that, of changing? Because I, for one, change a lot. I'm just curious, what is your take on that?
Well, the pros for me is that I always have different sounds, and different setups is always a different perspective of what you're gonna do. You never know upfront, what I'm gonna do when I have a new set of modules or in front of me. So it encouraged me to do something really new, because every time I do a performance, I want to do something new and not 2, 3, 4 times the same thing. I don't want that. It's challenging, but I like that. I'm not doing gigs every week, so I think it's doable. And until now, it was doable. The other side is that you always have to remember what the modules did before you pulled it out of the case and lay it somewhere. And then after a couple of months, you put it in. Oh, yeah, that combo. No, where was that little...
Right.
Yeah. And it's also with hardware. I've got some Electron hardware. When I pull it out and, oh my God, what was I doing on...
Right, it's like refreshing.
Yeah. Muscle memory, where is it?
And are all your sets completely improvised, or does it vary?
Until now, this was actually the first time, 95%, because I do the patching up front, of course.
Right.
But yeah. But I think before that, I always do 60, 70% improvised. So I make patterns and then mix and match them to my liking, or what the crowd wants, or what I want, or what the gig is. So that's what I do. But that's not really improvised. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. But now this with the Oxy, and also with the T1, Torso T1, it's all improvised. So only the patching, of course, again.
Right.
So I say about 95% improvised.
Nice.
So do you actually get to play anything that you released before on live sets?
No, I can't, because what I have released, that's totally improvised. So I do it up front and then hit record and do it again.
Is it on purpose?
No, not
so
really.
People are not free bird.
It's more that I like it like that. I don't know. And sometimes I use modules that are not that you can't bring to a former state. So if you patch and unpatch and do a patch again, then how was it? I don't know. I do it again, and then maybe it's more. I like it more. I don't know.
Right, or it has a different sound.
Yeah. So that's sometimes I do. I have one album on Bandcamp, and I try to replicate that, but no, it's not sounding like I wanted to.
That's always been my
you
biggest...
try to replicate it live.
It was not doable, so I left it there.
So you'd have to like cut it into sampling and then put it into a sampler and then maybe try to replicate that way, but like
not gonna
live.
do that. No.
Got it.
No, yeah, well, it sounds a bit like that, but it's not exactly like that.
Got you.
Yeah.
Have you always played, because so what are the genres, I guess, what are the genres that you play, first of all?
Well, I like a lot of genres. As long as I feel it, I like it. So I played once an ambient set, and I'm not an ambient type, but I was so into it, so I liked it, and people loved it, and they say, yeah, come on more. So I loved it, but I'm not really into ambient.
Okay.
But yeah, that was really nice performance. But well, at Amsterdam Dance Event, I was doing more the techno thingy, but I'm not really a techno person as well. So, and sometimes I do like, well, jungle, or sometimes I do 80s synthwave or trip hop. I like trip hop a lot. So I try to do that, but I always go to the disco thing, or I don't know. It's just what I feel. If I feel it, I do it.
Got it. Yeah, no, all your sets have been different genre, but they definitely have like your signature, like a groove. Yeah, like your groove to it.
Yeah, well, that's if I have been a drummer, so the drumming on the drum programming are always, I think, from the perspective of a drummer. So I want to make it interesting. So I don't do like the 50 minutes of 4 to the floor. I don't like that, because I don't think that is interesting. So I need to do like a break beat or something in between. That's what I like.
Nice. So when you are programming, then, especially switching from, actually playing the drums to now programming, do you find that it's harder or easier to get that same vibe? Does that make sense? Like on a sequencer, like
it makes sense.
Programming.
Yeah, you don't have that. Yeah, a lot of people say that human feel.
Right.
So, or
velocity, right? Like, do you?
Yeah.
Is it like a velocity thing, or?
It's a velocity thing and timing thing. So the timing is very difficult to replicate. You got like micro timing, but you need to do that within the sequencer. So it's not. You cannot put it on or off. But the velocity is doable with a sequencer at random. So I use that a lot, and with the pulsar I can do that.
Because are you using MIDI? Is that So
I'm
the
using
MIDI allows you.
Yeah, that allows me to do velocity and sustain, that kind of things.
Does that trip out the system with the timing of the other clocks? With the other machines?
Well, I use with the Oxy, you have like a MIDI out and an analog out. So I can do with the pulsar is the clock from MIDI, and modular is the clock from the analog out of the Oxy. So that's the clock into the modular.
So it doesn't
just put a patch cable.
Make it freak out.
No, there's nothing MIDI on the modular. I can do like a MIDI to CV thing, but it's with the Oxy you don't have to. And you always have the Oxy.
Do you do MIDI with? Okay. Do you do MIDI with the polycinematic to use all 8 voices, or you do, right? Okay.
Yeah. So there is a gig coming in end of January, and I'm using the polycinematic as well. I'm gonna do like the rave how you synth wave thing with the polycinematic.
Yeah, it does. Nabula really nailed it with that.
Yeah,
like, you definitely could get those rave to synthwave to trance sort of sounds
exactly
with it.
Yeah, I wasn't friends with the Nabula polycinematic because I didn't find it sounded like I wanted to. But after an update or it was a lot more interesting. So I get to know it, and now I like it.
It's interesting that
you need to have some time with the module.
Right.
You revisit them, yeah. No, it's interesting that you like actually gave it some time to like put it onto the site and see if like anything was going to change, revisit it, and see how you feel about it. See if that is going to work out on your setups in a different way.
Yeah, if you get to know the modules, it's the same with the make noise modules. If you get to know it better and get into the deep within the module, then you learn to how do you say that? Make full use of it, and you know what you're doing with every knob turn. You know what you're doing with every push of a button. You know what you're doing, and that's essential with performances with a small setup.
Right, like knowing it inside and out. Now, some of the things. So tell us some of the other things that you have going on. Like I know that you teach. That you also give one-on-ones. Share a little bit about that.
At the Conservatory of Amsterdam, I did. I teach sound design on and off, so not all the time, but there are semesters, and I'm doing. I forgot the word. I'm doing like the one-on-one and the one to full audience.
Course?
How do you say?
Like a group or like a chorus? Would you say Orly like that?
No, it's like how do you say that? I've totally forgot.
Class maybe? Like a
masterclass.
Okay, masterclass.
Yeah, I do like a masterclass. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sometimes I forget things. It's the age, I think. But sorry. I did a masterclass thing on different venues, schools, just a group that want to know what is modular. What do we do with it? So and the students of the conservatory, they like that I always bring my modular with me. So they like it. And sound design is really awesome with modular, but also in the box.
I was going to say, do you use both for the class, like computer?
Definitely. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you use VCV rack at all or anything like that, or no?
No, sorry. No, I use.
I was just curious.
No, I use Ableton a lot. Max for Live programming. Well, light programming, and Bitwig, the grid that I use. But the school wants to let me use the Ableton. And then maybe the hybrid thing. They want to do a lot of hybrid. That's what they like me to use for the class.
Got it. So people can integrate their computer with hardware kind of thing.
Yeah. And I use the ES 8 or 9 for it.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you hear a difference sonically between the programming in Ableton and Bitwig on the outcome?
Not really.
We're having all this totally discussions different. About it.
Yeah. No, it's totally different. Because Max for Live and Ableton is so different from Bitwig in programming, so it's getting always different sonically. always. But if you refer to audio, I think I like Ableton more because I like the audio in Ableton a bit more. But that's pure, I think, preference. I think.
Yeah. Interesting.
Maybe because I'm started with Ableton, and then Bitwig came along, and I like Bitwig a lot, especially the grid, and I like the effects a lot. The effects in Bitwig are more interesting, and I like them more than in Ableton.
Like the modulation and things like that are pretty cool.
Yeah, and the basic effects like the reverb and that kind of stuff. I like that in Bitwig more than in Ableton, but that's personal preference, I think.
Yeah, maybe. For sure.
Yeah. That's why we use more than one DAW sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
You got to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, but the school want to teach Ableton and not Bitwig, but I think they need to know the grid because it's modular in a box, and
exactly
it's cheaper than actual modular.
Yes, it's a great place to start too for somebody starting out. Yeah,
I think VCV Rack as well, but I'm not using it because, well, I started it, but I really don't like it, I think. Sorry.
I think it's hard to once for some people that if they have modular and then they go to VCV Rack, it's like doing the opposite. I find that some people, once they have that tactile, but when I hear the other way around, like when people have started in VCV Rack, so they kind of get a feel for it already, and then get into the actual physical modules, like that's just, some things that I've heard. Yeah. But yeah. One question, do you have a favorite sequencer? I know that you've used several different ones. Just curious, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's...
Or if you don't want to say on
yeah, no. I've got... in modular, really as a module, I've got a favorite one, and that's the Nerdsig. Definitely.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Without a doubt. That's really I like it the most. I've got several sequencers, but I like that. I always come back to the Nerdsig.
Yes, I do see you using that quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's one I have not tried yet.
And other than that, I really like the Electron boxes, but there are more than just a sequencer. So I like them a lot. These two, like the Oxy and the T1, I get to know them a little bit better, and I really like them now. But I don't know in about a year what I will say. Don't know.
Right. That's the beauty of always changing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Always trying things out. What's the best? Nothing is the best. Nothing is worse. It's all, just try it out.
Exactly. What were you going to say, Orly?
No, that's cool. It's cool that you don't get used to things, so you never get bored of your instruments. It's not that limiting, which is, biggest fear coming from having the whole world on the tip of your fingers whenever you play, into get to know your things, play with them, and that's all you have. Make it work, but don't get bored. So
sometimes
the fact that you're changing.
Sometimes I get tired of myself because I always want to know if there is something it's more fun than what I already have. I get tired of myself.
Do promoters have a hard time putting you into a box and seeing how to book you for shows, knowing that you are a bit of an unpredictable genre?
Yeah, maybe, but I'm pretty easygoing. If they say, we want to book you for a techno night, no problem. I play some techno. But if there's just an open, they book me for just an open night where I know there is a lot of ambient, there is some beats, some broken beats, some trip-hop, some techno, some of everything. I just go with my, what I want to do at that exact moment. So I just go with the flow and do what I want. But if they say it's a dance night or it's
keep it more in that direction then.
Yeah, then I push it in that direction. Yeah, but I don't mind. I like it.
So I have a question for you then. When you're being someone that plays these different genres of music and then also living in a city where it's just, I'd say like it's one of these cities that kind of set the, I don't want to use the word trend, but sort of, you know what I mean? In terms of what's kind of hot. I'm using these air quotes right now for those who can't see, but you know what I mean? Like we live in LA, there's New York, Amsterdam, Berlin. Like, where do you sense like music going, like in terms of, I see like, for example, some techno is like really hard and fast, and you know, it's kind of peaking right now in that sense, like, but also on this other side, I'm seeing a lot of like IDM and like broken beat, like really like taking more of a bigger presence, I guess. I mean, I know it's always been there, but like I've been hearing that more out, and especially when I was in Europe. Like,
I think people want to hear always something different, so interesting music, not always the same, or not always this, or not always the techno thingy, or not always the ambient thingy, or they want to be amused. I think that's the difference between in the early days and now. So you've got like parties where you can dance, but you got parties where you can just listen and relax and drink something with your friends, or you got so many different things, so many different people. I think that's the case nowadays. In the early days, it was just you go to a party, drink something, dance something, and then you go home and, that was nice. But now you want to be entertained. Yeah, but this is something from this time, I think, from nowadays. But it's okay. I understand that totally.
All right.
So yeah.
I like that. And I
you understand.
I'm sorry,
right?
I'm processing. Yeah. I'm processing what you were saying.
Do you think that's the case too in nowadays?
Not in LA. I don't think it.
In LA, no.
Everybody's in super boxes right now. It's like, who's playing? I'm gonna go see that artist. I know what to expect all night, and they're like super hyper focused on that.
Right. Yeah. There's not really a ton of events here, at least that I, or maybe Orly is aware of, that have that same vibe, like going to Paradiso, for example. You know what I mean? Where it's like one floor is like, you know, like you got techno happening, this and that, and then the other, where that other room where you played, where Nadia Struvig played, where Megan played, where it was like a ton electronic music, but just a totally different vibe, but at the same venue. There's not really that here. And it could be just a space thing. It could be a demand thing. But I don't know. I always find that in Europe in general, I feel like things tend to happen there and then come over here. I can't speak for what's happening in New York because we don't live there.
Yeah,
but,
and otherwise there's about like 400 meters from Paradiso, there's something else going on. Yeah, that's always in Amsterdam. It's close by. You get different parties within 10k square, 10 kilometers square. You get so many different parties.
That I'm sure has something major to do with it too, like just
yeah,
the limited venues and space and here, you know, like for those sort of events. It's just So, I mean, we're at the top of the hour. And
Oui.
so, yeah, a couple things real quick before we wrap it. Where can somebody find you if they wanted to book one-on-ones with you? And I'll also drop it in the description too. But
you can always email me. My email address is mdybakker@gmail.com. You can always book me there. And otherwise, DM on Instagram. It's always good to go.
And that's at Jungle of Wires.
Yes, but that's at Jungle of Wires. Yes.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you so much. This is I've always loved your music. Thank you so much for being a guest.
Thank you very much. And thank you for this opportunity. I really like to chat with you and do a video. Really like it.
Thank you for being with us.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.